Hello, welcome back. This is not a planting video. We're going to go around and show you what's new in the inside grow area. I wanted to do a walkabout video today, but I got up this morning and the ground was covered in snow. Most of it has melted now, but it's cold and wet out there. I don't buy peat pots, but as we say in Newfoundland, through the jigs and the reels, a few of these have come by my way, so I'm making use of them now. I don't know how well they'll work on the wicking mat. Will they absorb enough water up through to keep this soil wet? Or is it just as well for me to put these on a tray and bring them up to the sunroom now? That we'll find out. See, what I'm wanting to point out, all of these little sprouts here, they're my red mulberry, and they're just in these little cups, and being trees, I don't want to leave them there very long. They're basically put in there just for their cold stratification and germination. So just like germinating them in the paper towel method, now I want to put them in something that they can grow at least a little bit of the tree. And I'm running out of space, so I had these. I filled these up with soil, and then of course I got a bunch of these filled with soil, and I'm going to put the trees in that and put them in their appropriate area. I also this morning planted up 4 honey locusts and 3 black locusts. I was in a discussion with a viewer. The honey locusts hadn't swelled up, and I said, well, I think it might be good to give them the hot water dose like you do with black locusts. And so I did that. I had boiled water and I poured the water in on top of them, and I let it cool. I had it sitting for about 8 hours, and it worked. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here that's swelled up. I'll probably have to redo these few that you see that are not swollen. And okay, 2 of the swollen aren't germinated yet, but there's 3 that are, 4 that are. You see what happens to some trees. They have a taproot, and they send down this long taproot first. And if you let them get very big, and then you break this taproot when you transplant them, you'll severely stunt them. At this stage, it shouldn't make any difference to the disturbing of the taproot. I was running out of space, so all of the plants that I had here, that I had in those regular house planters, the basil, a couple of tomatoes, a couple of peppers, I moved upstairs to the bay window. And here's what's left here now. Of course, I got the 4 black locusts there. And there's 26 here now, I think. And over here is the honey locust that I planted. Black locusts and honey locusts are very different right from the beginning. You see this first true leaf here. It's kind of roundish. But you see the multi-faceted leaves on the honey locust right away. Now on the black locust, this second one is going to be a similar leaf. It's just the first one here. So we'll see now if it puts out more of these leaves along with those, or will it be just all the multifaceted ones? We're just waiting. I expected amaranth to take a long time, and this is why I have to start it inside, because outside it's not going to start, but it should grow once it starts. Kind of surprised that this cabbage and kohlrabi is not up yet. Back here almost everything else is up. The lettuces and the cole crops. I'll soon have to pot these up into individual pots as well. Of course, that was where the red mulberries were. And I don't think that's a kiwi, because there's a little thing was coming up this morning. You see the start of a little one right there. There was 3 I noticed this morning. There's the start of another one right there. And so the kiwi are just starting to germinate now. So I'm wondering if I didn't accidentally get a mulberry seed in this cell, and that's what that is. We shall see. I have these 2 lights, this one hung on a nail, and this one, the base is screwed to the top to put my kale over there. And I have a clip-on light here with the cucumber underneath. Due to the damage with getting hit by the board and other things, the plants aren't growing very well, but the cucumber are growing on it, so I really hope that I'll get a full-size cucumber all the way to a viable seed. And I had to move them down there, of course, because this is where I put my red mulberries. I'm using the wicking mat for all beginning stuff. This is the water soaking up into this pot, so we'll see. Got some beautiful peppers coming along. Chocolate pepper, I think this is. There's another one starting there, and there's a couple others starting on it. I attempted to fertilize these flowers earlier. Oh. And there's another tomato. That's 8 tomatoes today. I really need to give these onions a haircut, don't I? They're all growing tall. You see, the ones in this lot. Some of them didn't come up right, but the ones that did grow properly from the beginning grew just fine. And like I said, I don't know if that's how I planted them or what. Maybe I can take them out and try and replant them. You can see, because you got the actual onion top here, and at this stage I should be able to take the root. The root's coming out over here. Maybe I'll move you in a bit more. So I got my onion top and this long squirrely root. I could put that up into one of the little cups and try to do that with all of those that didn't come out right. Of course, I put my tomatoes up here. That was before running out of room. They're put up here to slow their growth so they won't be too big by the time the last frost comes. It's still looking droopy. I don't know. I guess it should come back at some point. That's the sweet marjoram and the rosemary. See, I put the compost in here as I told you, and there's a whole bunch of sunflower seeds that sprouted. I'm going to let them grow up and cut them for sunflower greens. There's an onion thing growing here. There's a potato plant and another potato plant. But I planted basil across here, and you see it was coated seed. There's one coming up there now. It took a little bit, but there's another one poking through the ground. And then these will take a little longer being here cooler, but I'll leave them there. Keep them watered and they should sprout at some point. This is the Osage orange and the Siberian pea shrub. I've been checking them every morning. I haven't noticed anything growing there yet. And peppers. I put a few other plants up here. And then that's the red spring onion, which I mentioned last video, I think. They were sprouted and I put them in here. So I've taken 4 Alyssa Craig onions and put in this one. As of yet, I don't have any Australian brown that have sprouted. And it doesn't look like any of the conserva shallots has sprouted. So this is the Alyssa Craig. This one is oh, I don't remember, but they are starting to sprout. So the ones in that, well, I had more of them, so it might be that there's more moisture kept around them because of they're in a really big bunch in the sacks. But anyway, they started to sprout, whereas the 2 in here haven't started to sprout yet. And since I know what I'm doing, I'll just give you what I did with these. These are the black locust and honey locust seed that didn't swell up. And so I'm going to try again. I've got this kiddo, he was just taken off the burner from boiling. I'll pour a little bit of water in there and I'll let that sit for about 8 hours, and then I'll put them back in that little germination capsule. Spring has sprung. We had a little bit of cold weather today, but next week it's all outside work, I think. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.